Hi. Hi everybody, this is Jersey Joyride, and we are showing Buddy's Small Lots today, a store that is unfortunately closing by the end of the month. Now, from what I was able to gather online, at the height of Buddy's Small Lots popularity, they had 6 locations. They had this one, Ledgewood, they had Bud Lake, Totowa, Wayne, Whippany, and Hackettstown. I believe we had been to 5 of their locations before they all closed up as well. Now, what makes the closing of this store so interesting is that they said the building had been sold and they needed to be out by the end of the month. However, on every search I did of this location, I found multiple listings saying it is still for sale and that nothing has moved in here yet. So I don't know what's going on with this one, honestly, except that they are definitely closing. The one in Totowa, that one turned into a tile store, at one point being a Halloween store. Hackettstown is now a Pronto's Pizzeria or Flash Photo and Gallery. Whippany is now a Longevity. The Wayne one used to be a pet store, and I believe they're now a Game Day Sports. The Bud Lake location is a Baymont by Wyndham Hotel. So that one, they just tore the whole building down and put a hotel there. We were at this location about 2 weeks ago at the beginning of the month. So I don't know how much of this stuff is left, although I plan on making another visit in a couple of days to pick up a few items. They really do have a lot of toys for sale right now. So this might be one of those rare occasions you want to bring your kids into a store and see what they want out of the toy section. In fact, you might even remember from 10 years ago, Buddy's Small Lots in Wayne being on the news. Apparently their front door lock malfunctioned after closing, and a couple of students from William Patterson College came in to do some shopping. After their shopping, they simply put the money on the counter and left. They were applauded for their honesty by the store manager, who invited them back for gift cards. So, tell me, do we have any Jets fans in the building? Because if we do, they've got bed sheets right now. I didn't catch the very beginning of the game, but what would happen in the first 5 minutes that I needed to watch anyway? The end of the game was great, and it was incredible to be there to watch it. These drills come out to $38.99, and they've got 2 batteries with them. It's a very tempting offer, and if they're there when I go back, I might buy one of them. I did not check the price on these saws, but I know they were a pretty good deal. These little games are like $3.50, and the first one, I have no idea how to do it. Second one, I got one of the rings on there, and I was so happy with myself. Go. There it is. Yay. These Instapots come out to $22.75. If you're buying any electronics, though, I would check them out either in the store, if you're allowed to, or as soon as you get home. There's some foods there. They got a bunch of snacks there. But as you'll see, and I made a comment in this video a few times, a lot of that stuff is expired, sometimes by a couple months. So be very careful when you're buying food there. Even with some of the expiration dates passed, I bought a few things like those ranch flavored snacks, the energy drinks, and Ritz crackers, which were all fine. But there are some things that go way past a couple weeks and expiration dates. Some things you can't even find the expiration date on, like this one. A little trick we do for shopping sometimes is we'll buy one and try it out immediately. And if it's good, then we'll buy more, because if you find something that's really good and you try and go back at a later date, it's not going to be there. The Takis are really good. Sometimes I think they designed them to see if they could outdo Cheetos with how much stuff is left over on your hand after you're done eating them. Me checking out coffee to see what the expiration date is, only to be told, we have too much coffee, we're not buying that. Don't count on those generators being there too long, as what you see is what they got. Located right next to the generators, you'll see these. They've had this bin of cheap headphones here for a while. That's only 64 cents each. These are the energy drinks. They have a lot of these. They have these in cases as well. If you buy the case of these energy drinks shown here, they come out to less than 75 cents a can. I think that's 35% off the 75 cents as well per can. Again, gotta look for these expiration dates. This candy and food section is all the way to the right of the store if you come in. Those glasses are to let you change the shade of how dark you want your sunglasses. And that last pair is actually a recording one, although I can't imagine what the quality is like at $14.99 a pair. There's a little pet section there. As usual, pet sections are kind of like clothing sections for people. They'll sell out of one size over the other sizes. So either be lucky because you're extra large, or you'll be unlucky because you're an extra large. Same with dogs. Those bones were all large size. Now, while these suitcases are adorable for a kid, if you have something that requires a little storage and you want to be able to move it around, these might be an excellent discount way of doing that. We've been coming to Buddy's for years. Our main location that we went to was the Totowa store, and when that moved out, we were disappointed to find out that the closest one around was, I think, this Ledgewood one. So we started driving up there, and as you'll see from our videos that are going to start coming more and more frequently now, we drive all over New Jersey, so it wasn't a big deal for us to drive up there. And we went up there, we would usually go a different way if we could, just to see different things, because you never, ever know what you're going to find on a different route. And this isn't too far, by our standards, from the Cracker Barrel up there. So make a plan to go to Cracker Barrel after or before this is a really good idea. At the beginning of summer, maybe even late spring, we actually went up here and we stopped in one of the pharmacy places. It was Walgreens, CVS, or Rite Aid, one of those. And they were selling the hand warmers really cheap, 13 cents a piece. Unbelievable deal. So I stocked up them. I got think 50 or 100 of each, the hand warmers as well as the toe warmers. I was using them at work. Less than 2 weeks later, the building shut down and we were all out of a job. So right now, between job interviews and searching for a job, I'm actually editing a lot of videos, trying to get them up on YouTube to show you all the fantastic places we've been to in New Jersey, as well as some places that are surprising. In fact, I just found one out that's a metal statue way down by close to Vineland, New Jersey. And I've never heard of this. Unfortunately, I heard about it because it got vandalized. But we're going to make a trip down there and see what other places in the area of Vineland we have. If you use Google Maps, you'll notice that they just changed something very interesting. If you have a list of, say, places that you want to eat at, as opposed to places you want to go and metal detect, or magnet fishing, or look at cars, or go waterfall hunting, whatever, don't go chasing waterfalls. Anyway, if you do that, you can actually put an icon on that group. And then when you open up Google Maps with that list, all those icons will show up, telling you what they are. Before, it was just a ton of icons for all the things. And for me, I have 400 to 500 places saved on Google Maps for a variety of reasons. Now I can look and go, that's a place to eat. That's a place to go fishing. That's a place I want to go and check out a waterfall, whatever. So it's really good on Google Maps now with that update. If anyone knows any other places like Buddy's that are open, let me know. I'd love to find one and do a video on that, or just shop there as well. Buddy's was always a place where you would walk in and they would have a ton of something. Whether you needed it or not, they would have a ton of it. So like that luggage right there, they have a ton of them, but you might not need it. Next week you come in and maybe it's pillows. Now you might think it's not a good idea to go shopping for stuff when you're not actually looking for anything in particular. For instance, you might want to save that shopping for, hey, we need a chair, let's go shopping for a chair. But in Buddy's, we would find things that actually did help us, even though we may not be looking for that specific item. Well, at one point, we were trying to buy a shelving unit from IKEA, and every time we checked, they didn't have it in stock. When they finally did have it in stock, we could not find out how big the box was. So we didn't know if it would fit in our car anyway. Well, we found almost the same thing here. It was about half the size. So we bought two. We bought one week, and then we came back the next week. They also had the baskets for it, so you could put everything in the basket, throw it in the cubby hole, and pull it out. Unfortunately, we only bought 2, and when we came back, they were all sold out. We had planned on coming back in a few days, but you know how things happen. You don't get back in time. I wasn't sure about these bags. I think some of them are shopping bags, and then the larger ones on the bottom, I believe, are the ones that you fill up with junk and leave at your curb, even though they didn't look as big as the ones I've usually seen on front lawns. So if you need bags, the top shelf. If you need to get rid of junk, bottom shelf. These beach pillows were pretty cool. Only 99 cents with the 35% off of that. So you take these to the beach, and when you get there, you fill them up with water. And any time you find an item that's this cheap, it's usually better just to buy it than worry about whether or not you want to spend like $1, $2, or $3 and worry about coming back later. I think I would strongly recommend anyone going to the store right now that's looking for toys. Because as you see in this video, they have a lot of toys. They have not been moving here. So the odds on them being there when you get there is hopefully pretty high. Unless they do what some retailers do, is where they start selling out lots of stuff to other companies. This store tends to remind me of a lot of those, I wouldn't call them Amazon stores, but they are stores that are selling out the pallets of Amazon merchandise that they buy. So the way those stores work, and we've been to a few of them, is they will buy pallets, and on the first day of whenever they decide, so maybe it's Sunday, everything in the bins will be $10. Then it'll drop to $8, $6, $5, $4, and then the last day it's like a couple dollars. So the game is to try and wait it out. There was a location we were going to for a while, and we still go there, but not as much, because originally it was $7 on the first day, but now they've upped it to $10. And our first visit there was this really ugly box, and really didn't pay any mind to it. And my wife wound up looking at it and finding out it was a really nice piece of jewelry worth a couple $100. So we paid $10 for a really nice necklace. Other people have been there and found kitchen knives that are worth like $300 or $400. And there's been people that find drones. Some of these people will update their webpage to let you know what's going to be there by walking around with the camera, so you can see what's there, or they might tell you there's a secret item somewhere and you have to find it. So as with any business like that, when you get there, there is a line of people waiting to get out in there on the first day. After the first day, it usually quiets down a bit. Now would be a good time to stock up on your cards, because when we went here, there was a lot of Hallmark cards, and I don't think those Hallmark cards went anywhere. So there's plenty of cards you can get for birthdays, anniversaries, Christmas, Hanukkah, what have you. Some of the items here were kind of goofy, like these headphones that twist out so other people can hear what you're listening to. Nowadays, we just call that a cell phone on full volume. My next video might be an Atlantic City video, but only limited to what the boardwalk looks like. Because we went there a few weeks ago, and I went there at night and in the daytime. Well, we went to the outlets, of course. You can't miss the outlets when you're married. And we bought a few things. I got some nice shoes and a nice shirt. I will not pay $200 or $300 for a pair of shoes. The only reason I bought them is they were $20, and they were Pumas. So that's it. They look good, and they're cheap. Sometimes I feel a little bit like a vulture when I show up at a store closing, but this is a store that we shopped at many, many times. So we were really more sad than anything else, and we let the employees know it, because it was disappointing that this would be one of our last times visiting this location. Another thing is that every time we went here, there was always a bunch of employees working. So not only did they have people working, these people were actually working in the store, which just is like the perfect working environment when you go to work and you have other people that are always working. Store was always clean. We were actually the last people out of the store on this day, which always makes me feel bad as someone who has worked retail, but there were people right in front of us, so it wasn't too bad. And if you're wondering about those price tags on the products, yes, those were the last ones that they had. So we did not take the price tag down. Oh, look, I got a hat. I know in the last few days they'll probably be selling out everything, including those baskets. I don't know if anyone that watches our videos remembers Crazy Eddie, but when Crazy Eddie was closing up, I actually bought the vest off the salesman that said Crazy Eddie. Unfortunately, I lost it in one of my moves, so that stunk. But for years, I actually had the pens and pencils still in the lapel pocket. So if you made it this far in the video, of course, as everyone always says, make sure you like and subscribe and tell me what they'd like to see in a video. Do you have a location in New Jersey you would like to see a video made about? Even if you have an interesting business you would like a video made about, let me know, because if it's interesting enough, then we'd definitely be interested in checking it out and making a video about it. Although, with my list so high, I already probably have it saved somewhere. Okay, let's see who really knows the area by Buddy's. Across the highway, there is now a Walgreens. Does anybody remember the place that was there before? I do. It was like a farm or a farmstead, like just a house. And inside the house was a ton of things that the lady would sell. Picture a garage sale, and now picture a garage sale indoors multiplied times 10. This lady would sell anything that other people would think about throwing out. You could find some really neat stuff in there, though. Well, that was our last visit to Buddy's. We decided we had enough stuff. They wanted to go home, and we would simply drive away. And that would have been easy, but I decided I'm going to drive over the cone instead. Yeah, had to get out and pick that up for them. So if you've been to Buddy's, let us know what you thought of it, and let us know how many of the stores you have been to. I actually found a video on YouTube saying there used to be one in Beatty'sville, but I found nothing online about Beatty'sville having a Buddy's Small Lot, so I don't know if that was accurate or not. Remember to like and subscribe. Jersey Joyride out.